Peace and blessing, family. It is yours truly, Bakri Jumbo. I am the founder of EY Pele Movement. My wife, Amani Jumbo, is a co-founder. We focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. Hopefully, your weekend has went well. Ours certainly has been a very eventful weekend. But we're here. We're live. We're well. All is well, family. All is well. It's going to be an interesting topic of discussion on this evening. Is do you have the courage to be free? Do you have the courage to be free? As you know, for those who follow us, we focus on, making sure that we're mentally free, we're spiritually free, and we live our best lives here in this earth. All right. So we're going to focus on, again, do you have the courage to be free? I mean, are you afraid to speak out against what's wrong? Are you afraid to speak your faith? Are you afraid to stand up and fight for what's right? Or do you have the boldness to do so? Where do you stand at? Well, my wife, she's going to dive in on that on this evening. She's going to talk about the subject matter on today. Queen, the mic is hot. Go ahead and give it what you got.
All right, there you go. There you go. Needed to make sure that I wasn't on mute. Happy to be here tonight. I want to honor our ancestors. I want to honor my dear husband and all of you for joining us. We're going to speak briefly about courage. We're going to take our time, but not be in a hurry. How about that? We got a couple of things that we need to cover, and we want to make sure that this is beneficial to you and any challenges that you may be facing in your life. We've been gone for a couple of weeks now. We had my grandmother transitioned, and we've been traveling back and forth, and we're also not going to be on this Saturday or Sunday or what have you, because we will be celebrating my husband's Earth Day. Like he liked to say, he's 47 years old. Oh, goodness. But we look forward to having a good time on next weekend. So let's just get right into it. Last session, which was episode 11, we talked about the Christ, Heru, Christ consciousness. We discussed the spiritual law and concept of the Christ, Heru, Christ consciousness. And that's the KRST, the Heru, Christ consciousness, and what it means for us in our ascension. Today, we're going to start episode 12. And this is a question: do you have the courage to be free? We will be talking from a practical standpoint, but we're also going to dive into it from a Twa, Cushite, Kemetic, ancient Egypt, Hebrew, biblical perspective. We will also uncover the history and significance of that Heru principle. We will show you yet another diabolical plan of the colonizer to rob us of our courage and their concerted effort to keep us in a sleep-like state of darkness by feeding us misinformation. So, and as my husband stated, we need to take courage. So I just want to have a little discussion with you in regards to courage. Courage is the mental or moral strength to venture or to persevere and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. I'm going to say that again. Courage is the mental or moral strength to venture, to persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Courage is a must as we're walking through this life or through this land or on this dimension or what have you. Courage is a must. And to let you know that courage is a must, I'm going to unfold it and show you what our ancestors thought about courage and us being able to withstand all of the trials and the tribulations. Do you realize that your ascension may be hinged on your courage? your courage to do right, your courage to resist temptation, your courage to not fall in such traps. It's hinged upon your courage to get over. You know what I mean? Sometimes your breakthrough is on the other side of you taking courage to conquer a situation. So I just want to have a little fun with this. And I want to talk about the Montgomery Brawl a little bit, the boat thing. And, I played and I replayed that in our head, and we don't celebrate violence or anything like that. I was looking at it from a spiritual or moral standpoint in regards to the courage that was on display that day, right? There was something that was going awry, something that wasn't right. And instead of the people standing around not doing anything about it, there was a concerted effort to stop the diabolical assignment that was there. We had a gentleman there that was being attacked, right? And it could have very well have taken his life. But if the people around them had not taken courage to step in, we may be telling a different story today. So this is why courage is extremely important. So I went over, some of the things. Courage is feeling fear, yet choosing to act, right? You can be afraid or feeling fear, but you choose to do something about it. So I'm sure that the young man that jumped in the water he feared a thing, but he chose to do something about it. Courage is following your heart. And we're going to talk a little bit about this a little later too. Following your heart, and we always talk about intuition, that first mind, the thing that tells you to go, to follow your heart, your dream. You know what I'm saying? Your dream is on the other side of through. You have to take courage in order to go towards that thing, go towards that small voice that's telling you to go on, right? So some of us, we remain in some situations simply because we did not take courage. Courage is persevering in the face of adversity. You see what I'm saying? There's going to always be adversity, adverse things come up and obstacles that come up in your life. Courage is persevering past the adversity. Courage, again, as I spoke about with those people that was surrounding that gentleman that was being jumped, they did courage is standing up for what is right. By all costs, they actually put their life on the line to stand up for what is right. This is the courage that we're talking about. Courage is facing suffering with dignity or faith, right? So I just wanted to talk about those things, a little bit of those things in regards to courage. And your freedom is on the other side of you being courageous. You know, it fell in my heart and my spirit soul the other day that I posted a post that said that our next level is hinged upon our bravery and our courage. Hiding behind excuses is a display of cowardice. You know what I'm saying? We a lot of times we use excuses and religion and God and some of our children and all of this other stuff as scapegoats. You see, I remember one time I was in a marriage and I used everything possible as a scapegoat because my courage or my bravery to do what I needed to do just wasn't there at that time. You see what I'm saying? We need to face our situations head on. And again, we're hiding behind excuses. Some of these excuses are helping us to remain impoverished. Some of our excuses are helping us to remain broke. Some of our excuses are not helping us to produce the results that we want in this life. We need the courage to be able to move on. We need the faith and the belief to be able to move on. And like I said, We're using excuses in some situations to even stay in abusive marriages, to stay in situations that we know that's not good for us, situationships that are not good for us. And we're afraid to move on. We have to come from a place of courage to move to another level. All right. So we have to remain encouraged. All right. And then, like I was stating before, taking courage would allow us to break free from the chains. You know what I mean? Taking courage to face the enemy and those things that are before us could help break us free. There's so many challenges, so many things, and we're just like a little rabbit, just shaking in one spot and just not moving. You know, I tell you one thing, you have to look the enemy in the eye and let the enemy know that you will not hold me hostage in any situation. And let the enemy know through your courage that I am not afraid of you. You'll be surprised at what things, just by your vibrations, by what's coming out of your mouth, could cause some change to even break, just for the simple fact that you stood up, right? So breaking free is a sense of freedom away from some of the constraints and the weights. Courage to be free. You need to take courage to be free from the lies, the limitations, and the self-defeating beliefs that you have. Until I'm talking about us as melanated people, fully come into the knowledge of the truth, there will be constraints and limitations. As long as you think that you cannot accomplish a thing, there will always be limitations and constraints. As soon as you shift your mind to limitless boundaries, there's no limit, we're well able to accomplish this thing, things begin to move. So it takes a simple mind shift. We know that there's been, of course, a lot of things that have been done to us to damage us, to make our self-esteem such a way, you know what I mean? To the point where sometimes you can think that you're nothing, you're nobody. You see what I'm saying? And we have been exposed to this from our birth, because our skin is a little darker or our culture is a little different. But I'm here to tell you that you're well able to accomplish those things that you set out to do. You have to take courage. You have to gain strength. You have to believe. And we got to be like a phoenix bird. We got to rise above those situations and those actions. Yeah, and yes, ma'am, Sister Darlene, power is in the tongue. Speak those things. And one thing I do know about this atmosphere, that there's a vibration. They say there's a sound. And let that sound come from out of you. That sound to come out of you and destroy and break the chains that hold you in bondage. So it is by this means that we eradicate the shackles from our mind. All right, so that was good. So now we're going to take this to a comedic perspective. All right, so last time we talked about Heru the Christ, or the Charis, or what have you. We have to understand what these concepts mean. And it will behoove you that you would just take this particular concept and just go, take a look at it and look it up. This is, I believe, who they tried to make the Jesus the Christ, and Heru and Shango and all of them. They're kind of alike, simply because these are our warrior concepts. These are our warrior netters. So with Heru, again, he's the son of Asar and Aset. He is the one, again, that remind you of Yeshua, and where he took individuals to his father, Asar, and they said they can't get to the Father except by me. That means something. You cannot accomplish some things. You cannot go to another level until you take courage. And Heru is one that represents courage. So we're going to get into that a little bit. Becoming awakened. And I want to see the bottom of that a little bit. You all heard of the all-seeing eye, commonly known as the third eye, the eye of inner consciousness, which is actually our first eye. And they call it the left eye of Heru. And even Jesus, the one they call Jesus in Greek, mentioned in the Bible, the light of the body is the eye. It is therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thine whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? That's Matthew 6:22 and 23. When this is fully activated, you are born of the awakening from the trance-like state of being asleep. Now, let me just lay this out right quick. When we talked about Heru, the one that was of courage, right? This is an aspect of Heru. This was his a third eye that he, was in battle, and this represents him, right? And so, and when they say your third eye is opening, that means that you're awake, that you're woke, right? There is such a battle right now over quote unquote wokeness, right? All in Florida, all everywhere. This stuff is actually on the mind of the colonizer. We have to keep them asleep. They cannot be awakened. You see what I'm saying? When you watch what goes on in Florida, the very thing that this particular individual fights against, that's the very thing that's going to take us to our next level. There is a reason that this thing is being fought against, right? And again, to see clearly is to further symbolize by the eye. It is the ability to see clearly, to have insight, to see or inner sight, to be exact, right? So when you're not awakened, you're in a trance-like state. We think that we're woke, right? But we're in a state of sleep, in a sense, because we have not awakened to those things of the spirit world. We have not awakened to those things that will make us ascend or bring us higher. So when you exercise proper insight, you exercise proper judgment. You will invoke the intuition that's in your soul. And this intuition will help you to attack the challenges. This intuition will help you with your courage. You see what I'm saying? This intuition will also let you know that there is no problem that cannot be resolved, right? So when you get a chance, go on and do your research on the eye of Horus or the eye of Heru and see what it actually represents. It represents truth and insight and the ability to foresee. And the colonizer purposely misguided us. Insight must come directly from our soul. And they say that this eye of Heru is located in our head region, right? It just reminds me of when I told you about the Yoruba, the Ori was in our head region, right? So Heru means he who is above and that which is above. So we're going somewhere with this. I just wanted you to be familiar with this this awakening and the fact that we should be awakened. Now, Heru is a hero. Heru, hero, those are some of the names that they use in order to describe who he is. Heru is the combatant or the fighter, right? So, and when I mentioned earlier about courage, you don't just sit down and let anybody run you over. You have to have that fight in you. He challenges the disorder. He challenges all those things that the disorder that want to manifest itself. He fights to maintain and corrects anything that's going wrong. This is what this principle of this Heru it represents. He operates in the heart region. And if you ever hear anybody say he got heart, he got courage, this is what Heru represents. He operates in that area of the heart and where the courage is. And what Heru does is to help you to transform into an ascended being. He demonstrates the will, the courage, the fearlessness. He has heart. He's serious. He's fierce, but he's disciplined. He maintains the balance between the upper regions, his mind, and the lower regions, which we call our lower level or our sacral area, or the thing that leads us astray. This force is being developed on the inside of you. We're fighting daily, using this strength and this courage in order to ascend and go to that other level. And, one thing that I like is that about this Heru being the hero, he is us. Basically, this concept represents who we are and how we should take courage and how we should fight. You see what I'm saying? This is what this hero, Heru, represents. He represents who we are. So I just wanted to put that out from a comedic standpoint of the hero that's on the inside of us. So I just added that I love the song by Mariah Carey. She put it that there's a hero on the inside of us. Courage is on the inside of us. Victory is on the inside of us. It said, if you look inside your heart, I just said that Heru represents the heart. And if you got heart, we say that you got courage. It said, if you look inside your heart where that courage is, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that will melt away. And then that hero, you're invoking the hero, comes along with the strength to carry on, and you can cast your fears aside as you can survive. So when you feel like all your hope is gone, look inside you and be strong. And you'll finally see the truth that there's a hero that lies within you, right? So when our ancestors rolled these things out and they began to talk about these, what others want to call gods, but they're netchers. You see what I'm saying? They were a representation of what's on the inside of you. They want to let you know that you're well able to accomplish the goals that you're set out to do. You're well able to get over things between leaps and bounds. You're well able to start that business. You're well able to raise those children. You're well able to do what you need on that job. You see what I'm saying? And if that job is not where it's supposed to be, you're well able to get the courage to go get another job. You see, a lot of our next level things are hinged upon us having courage to leap out and do that next thing. And as Mariah Carey said, the hero is on the inside of you, right? You just have to tap into that. You have to tap into that courage in order to go to the next level. Now, on the flip side, let me get a little water here. On the flip side of this thing, we said that the hero was inside of us, right? We're finding that there's a lot of hero worship going on. And what I mean by that is that for some strange reason, we're always looking on the outside of us for a savior. You see what I'm saying? We said that the hero was in us. And we're looking for people on the outside that we can deify. We're looking for individuals that we can serve. You see what I'm saying? We're looking for others that we can call heroes. And when you deal in hero worship, I call it, you protect the disorders of that one that you call heroes a hero at all costs. A lot of times that we'll take a pastor, a clergy, we'll take a politician, we'll take our parents, we'll take our loved ones, and we'll say that they're our hero. And we may not say that they're an idol. You see what I'm saying? But we're bowing down and we're worshiping and we're doing everything that they say. And no matter what they do, let me tell you something. Some of the worst fights that are brought out in the church is because somebody said something against the man of God. You see what I'm saying? Simply because the congregation is worshiping this individual as a hero. The pathology of hero worship is contradictory to who we are as melanated individuals. Because our ancestors let us know that the hero was inside of us. Why are we looking to the outside to worship someone else when you have what you need on the inside of you? And I can just say this. Some of these titles, bishop, all of them people, and not just the imam, and I'm learning some new words. Some of these other folk, the priests, all of them, all of them are getting our energy. We're sending forth our energy to them, and they sitting all prostrate and all yes, that's right. That's right, Obafemi. Exactly. And we're sitting all prostrate and everything. I mean, they're sitting all poised, and we're giving them all of our energy and everything, and we're following them blindly, and everything that they say, we jump to it, to the fact that we done lost our mind. They can be telling, excuse me for saying it, a ton of lies. You see it with your eyes. You know they lying. But that don't stop you from worshiping them. That don't stop you from believing everything that they say. You see what I'm saying? I have some things here that I wrote down. Is when you put these people up on the pedestal, you're setting yourself up to look to them as if they're blameless. And then you'll want to fight, like I said. You have gotten caught up in hero worship instead of the Haru worship that's on the inside of you. I'm going to say this right here. I had a dream not too long ago, and I ain't getting in politics. I'm just saying. I had a dream not too long ago about the individual they call Trump. But I had went to this place that looked like a church. And in the church, I saw, the offspring of the colonizers were there. And I began to look at the things around, and I thought at first that it was Jesus, one of those churches, because they had, what looked like Jesus on the cross and all this other stuff. But as I looked carefully and closer, it wasn't Jesus. It was Trump. And I was like, oh, what did I just step into? You know what I mean? This is not the regular church. This looked like y'all done replaced Jesus and put this other man on here. And as I looked around, I thought that I would only see the people, the colonizers' offspring. I thought I would only see them, but then I saw other melanated people in the same spot. Listen, family. Listen. It is time out for this hero worship. I'm going to show you this picture, though. It's time out for worshiping individuals that walk the face of this earth in such a manner that you done lost all common sense. It's time out for the foolishness. We have to look to the inside of us for what we need. We have to tap into our intuition. We have to go into prayer and meditation. We have to seek the divine for what is right for us. You see what I'm saying? So with this, and this goes back to the pseudo teachers and the pseudo this and the pseudo that, and by us giving this energy to these individuals, we're losing our natural bone mind. So all I'm saying to you is look towards the inside of you. Look towards the inside of you before you start worshiping your pastor, before you start worshiping all of that stuff that's on the outside of you. We must be independent and engage in our proper investigation of things. When we engage in hero worship, you become as a little child. You've given all of your strength and your courage to somebody else. If you're not seeking truth, you will be led into foolishness, which causes self-destruction on your part that spreads. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, some of these titles are foolishness. Some of this stuff, folk are just set up to be over you. You see? And then you lose your hero mentality. And you give your strength and your everything, your energy to something else. So I just wanted to say that you can't be replacing the strength and the hero and all of that that's on the inside of you with someone that's on the outside of you. I just want to say that. So that would be a conclusion to what we had to say today. In regards to courage, I hope that you got something out of it. That's right. The kingdom of God is on the inside of you. Yes, Sister Darlene. Yes, ma'am. It's on the inside of you. And we have got to, if we don't search on the inside of us, we're going to be bamboozled. We're going to be led astray. We're going to be sent into some places that we have no being. I've already spoken at the beginning where they say they don't want you woke. They don't want you to be awakened to that thing that's on the inside of you. They don't want you to know. Why is it that they don't want you to know? Because they want to be your hero. They want to lead you. They want to lead you in a ditch or lead you into a place where they can control you. We have to gain courage, family. We have to gain courage. And that's it. My king, if you want to take over.
Very powerful, powerful, powerful session. Very well said, my queen. Thank you all for tuning in on this evening. We believe you all have the picture. For those of us who are awakened, we recognize what we're up against. And the example I like to use is when somebody is asleep in the natural sense, they're not cognizant in regards to what's going on around them, right? And so that's how it is. You know, a lot of our brothers and sisters, you know, are asleep, even though we see their eyes wide open, even though we see them functioning in life. You could tell by what they say and what they do. You understand? And so the truth is what we have to use to wake our people up. I disagree with us having these dialogues. Some people would say, right? You know, I disagree. We shouldn't have these dialogues. And I disagree that we shouldn't have these dialogues because it's necessary. You know, it's necessary for us to have these dialogues. And so that's what we're talking about, right? The courage. And so what I like to say is nobody can ever be set free from lies if we keep lying, right? Or if we avoid the lies. You understand? Because, you know, have you ever been in a situation when you was younger and you lied so you weren't getting what? Trouble. You understand? You know, you like, and you make one up real quick. You understand? So you won't catch those lashes. And we have to have that courage. We have to have the moral courage, you understand, to speak the truth. A lot of times people want to avoid religion because they feel like it's going to be tension. You understand? But here's what we cannot get around, that it's because of that we're in the spiritual situation. See, we really think that we're free, but we're not. It's a smoke screen. Okay. It has us constantly begging. You understand? It has us constantly being docile and subservient. Okay. It has us constantly rejecting ourselves. And people don't want to deal with that. We run away from ourselves due to the teaching in religion because it teaches against our spirituality. You understand? And I heard one brother say, I'm going to put godliness before my ethnicity. Well, for those who are religion, who are following after religion and spirituality, you may say godliness because you're religious, but we believe in being upright. And see, that's the big misconception. When you find out what you are, you find out, for instance, you find out you're Yoruba, then it's going to attach you to Ifa. If you find out that you're Mende like me, it's going to attach you to, if you're a female, the Sandy, and to the male, the Poro, which are traditional teachings for the men and women, which teaches us to be moral, which teaches us to take care of our family, which teaches us to be upright people amongst our fellow family within the village. So it's the total opposite of what we're taught about ourselves. So some of our people think that if they turn to that, our spirituality, that we're going to become wicked people. And that's a lie. Okay. We never thought that way prior to being colonized. And a lot of us don't like to deal with it. We like to defend what we know today as Christianity. We love, why? Because we've been programmed. And that's just a reality, that we have been programmed to believe what we believe about ourselves. Why are we so distant from being us? Why don't most of us know exactly where we come from? Why don't most of us even have the thought about, wait a minute, I'm African American? Wait a minute. I'm an African in America, but I don't speak an African tongue. I don't have an African mindset. I don't dress African. I don't even know exactly what people in Africa, I know I come from Africa, but I don't know exactly what people I come from in Africa. I don't even know what country I come from in Africa. Why is it that we never think like this? Why is it never that some of us never think and never be inquisitive about these things? And for those who are indigenous, okay, if you was already here, fine. It's still the same. Do you know exactly what group of indigenous people you came from in America then? If you want to say that, okay, fine. I don't argue with people because some people know their bloodline. Some people, family has kept records. And see, what I always say is I'm not going to tell somebody what they're not. Just like I don't like when people tell me what I'm not, because I know what I am. You understand? I've done my research in my family. I've done my African ancestry DNA test. I know what I am. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what you are, it still pertains to the same thing. It's the same thing. So we have to be courageous enough to say, hey, family, we need to truly wake up. We don't have our own, but we're happy with getting, a slice of bread from the colonizer. And, instead of having a loaf, we get a slice. Instead of a slice, we get a crumb. But a lot of us don't want to deal with that. We don't like to deal with that. We don't have the mind to own, or we don't have the mind, okay, to go into business with each other, partner together, start business. Why is that? We don't like to deal with that because Then we got to reflect on our own selves. Now we got to think about self-accountability. And it's beyond the colonizer. You understand? A lot of us run from the fact that we further our destruction with gangster rap and all these corrupt lyrical, songs that's out there that poison our people. Okay, we're actually lyrical drug dealers. Okay, we're lyrical drug dealers. Okay, we spew out lyrical content that actually is toxic for the mind of the African. And we have to reconnect with the way we conducted ourselves pre-colonization. What we see today is post-colonization. And the room normally get quiet and people normally take off when we start talking like this. I noticed that. And I noticed that. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we mean. Do you really have the courage for you to step up and for you to dig deep and say, let me find out about who and what I really am? And understand this, it will make you upset, but you got to be careful about hate in your heart, because these people are brainwashed. Racism is a learned behavior. It's not something that you're born with, not to insult your intelligence. I'm just telling you the truth, okay? Just like we're taught how to be moral, okay, they're taught how to be immoral, but the problem is they've been deceived to think that that's the right thing to do. So they're calling evil good and good evil. You understand? They have the doctrine of discovery. They went out and colonized non-Christian continents. You understand?
In Hawaii also. In Hawaii also.
Okay, there you go. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, you can expound on that or what's going on there. We just highlighting these things and telling you all the truth, because unfortunately, we see that our people run away from these things. We run away from the very thing that we should be running to. It's like when a fight break out. Why are you running towards the fight? What type of sense do that make? So you can get shot? Somebody could pull out a gun, but you running towards the danger when you should be running away from the danger. And unfortunately, that's what we do when we support these people like Trump and all these other political figures that look like us, that are in the political arena. You understand, and they sound just like a European. That's because they colonized. But we got to stay. We got to keep peace. And listen, family, there will be no peace without war. Do you think we got our civil rights without war? Do you understand that we fought for civil? How can you have peace without war? How can you have peace when somebody is constantly attacking you and attacking who and what you are, and constantly trying to put you in chains and constantly trying to take you back to the Jim Crow days? How can you have peace when somebody is constantly shooting at you? How does that make sense? They declaring war, but let's be peaceful. Did Shaka Zulu do that? Because if Shaka Zulu do that, the Zulus wouldn't be free. In fact, if Thomas Sankara did that, Burkina Faso wouldn't be Burkina Faso today as we know it. It'll still be Upper Volta. So when are we going to understand that our people will continue to be born in this colonized way of life and mindset until we decide to take a stand and say we're going to take back our culture, we're going to take back our identity, because we've been cut off from that. And unbeknownst to us, we don't even think about it, because we've been brainwashed into being numb to what actually has happened to us and what is happening to us. And this is the reason why it's important to be up to date on your current events. I was the type of person, I really wasn't into politics like that, honestly, until I met my wife. And I tell you what, if we wouldn't have kept up what was going on, we wouldn't have known about, you know what I'm saying, the big P out there, okay? We wouldn't have known about what Ron DeSantis is doing down there in Florida. We wouldn't have known that they was trying to overthrow what is it? The
Insurrection.
no. Yeah, yeah, that's true too. But I was looking for what is it when they affirmative
Something.
action.
The who?
Affirmative action. They're trying to overthrow affirmative action. So what I'm saying is we have to a time for peace and a time for war. I believe in that.
Know
Okay.
your enemy.
What we seen happen down in Alabama on the dock. Do you understand? I'm here to tell some of you that praying is not enough. And I'm courageous enough to tell you what you leave out is faith without works is dead. Some of you, I'm gonna just tell you the truth. You hide behind the Bible. You be hide behind the cross. You use it as an scapegoat.
Let me pray about it. That's that scapegoat. Sometimes.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, it's just simple. It is nothing prophetic about what I'm saying. It's nothing deep about what I'm saying. It's simple logic. We will not have the rights that we have today if our ancestors did not have the moral courage enough to stand up and fight for us. Some of us wasn't even born yet, but they seen us afar off and made the sacrifice, and they said, this is going to benefit my grandchild. That's us today. That's us today. So when are we going to take the moral position to take back our lives? We have the right to be ourselves. I don't want to be them. I never have been a person that wanted to be a European. I'm African. I'm proud to be that. I'm proud of my culture. I love hip hop. I love our African Afro beats music, and I love our culture. I love Jollof rice. I love Saka Saka. I love Mafa.
I like oxtails.
You understand? I love our culture, man.
I love griot.
Man, I love R&B. You understand? I love our culture. Listen, I'm not ashamed of our culture. What I'm ashamed of is the immoral things that we do. And we use our culture to do it, like hip hop and like R&B. And now it's like love song is no longer love songs. Now the R&B artists sound like gangster rappers. Be this, hold that. N-word this. I mean, come on, man. And somebody has to stand up and say, that's the problem. You know why it keep happening? Because people are too afraid to be labeled as a hater. And the sad part about it is we call loving hate. That should let us know right there what mental state they're in. You understand? And so y'all hear me talk about this a lot. However, you know why? You know why we can't get away from it? I'm gonna just tell you the truth. Okay? I'm gonna tell you the truth. My wife, she knows. She hear me talk about it a lot. We always have these family discussions. My wife and I, we do. We have spiritual, political, and financial dialogues quite frequently in this household. And it's necessary because the family is the village and the village is the nation. It starts at home. And I'm telling you, what bothers me is when, and like I said before, I got a lot of love, for Brother Snoop. And I'm just using him because he's the one that come to my mind. Because he the one that cried when Nipsey Hussle was murdered, but when he go do his concerts, he's still performing those same gangster songs that got Brother Nipsey killed. And the hypocrisy of our community, these like on the Breakfast Club, they'll bring the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on, and then after they bring the Honorable Louis Minister Farrakhan on, you know what the Breakfast Club will do? They'll bring on a gangster rapper. Where the lie at? Where is the lie at? Somebody prove me wrong. Where's the lie at? They brought on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan more than one time, and thereafter they have a whole bunch of gangster rappers on there after that. And these are the same people that be on there talking about, oh man, what happened to Nipsey Hussle? Oh man, that's sad, man. Not to say that it's not sad, but if it's so sad, if you really want to be a solution to this problem, then why do you still keep playing gangster rap? Why you still keep bringing gangster rappers on and celebrating their careers? It's an oxymoron.
And then
it's counterproductive.
Let me add this, if I would. Not only the gangster rappers were doing that, now they're calling themselves civil rights leaders, and we supposed to line up behind them, and they got a whole reputation of destroying our community.
Ice Cube.
You know, I wasn't gonna call no names now.
You know, I'm gonna call them. You know, I'm not worried about it. Call them out.
You got a reputation and a history of destroying our community. Now all of a sudden you're a civil rights actor, and we're supposed to line up behind you where you come from out of nowhere. You see what I'm saying? And you're not being truthful. And the first thing you do is line up with white supremacists.
Now check
That's all I got to say.
Now check this out, sweetheart. I'm glad you brought him up, because now check this out. Who was in the song? NWA, they had them in a song a long time ago fighting against gun violence. How can you have a gangster rap group? You understand? And right after these songs, here come the Chronic. I mean, it's not funny. You understand? But I'm saying, can y'all not see this? These same gangster rappers, they go out into the hood, they hand out the sneakers. Listen, that's a beautiful thing. That's wonderful. But you know what that remind me of? For those who are near my age, like my wife said earlier, you know what I'm saying? I'll be 47 next week on Sunday. You understand? You know, so for those who are around my age here, that remind me of New Jack City with Nino Brown.
Or when a pimp beat up his woman, but he gonna clothe her and feed her and all of that. You see what I'm saying?
You
They're
see?
pimping us, is what I'm saying.
Now I mean, oh, I love y'all. That's not love. You know what I'm saying? See, it's like what my queen just said. It's like a man who provides, but yet he's slapping you around. Girl, I love you. But he think he love you because he give you things. Nah, it's more to it than that. What you love is money. And they don't want to deal with that. You understand? They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with that. They like to push off their responsibility. They like to say, oh, I'm not, you know, I'm not, what is it, a mentor, or, you know, I'm not their moral leader or whatever. But you was influenced by another MC. You can't get away from your responsibility influencing the culture, because hip hop is more influential than religion. Yeah. Hip hop has our youth's mind more than the Bible, more than the Quran. You understand me? Because hip hop, you understand? Hip hop is culture. Rap music is basically raising our children because of the absent-minded mothers and fathers. You understand me? And just because you're present doesn't mean that you are present. You're physically present. If the parents are not there mentally, their body is there, but their mind is not there. And our children just don't need the presence of a parent. They need their parents to be present in their right minds. Oh, man.
Hey, Mr. Aaron.
You understand?
Yes. And sweetheart, I want to talk about that one current event.
It's not enough for a father to be there, because there's fathers that's there physically, but they're not there spiritually. There's mothers that's there physically, but they're not there spiritually. How do we notice the rump shaking in front of their babies? the twerking, the men using profanity in front of their babies. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a song with J. Cole and Lil Durk, I think it is, All My Life. You know what I'm saying? But guess what they was using in the video? Right there with the children at. Profanity.
Twerking, huh? Oh, profanity.
Profanity. The children, all my life.
That's not funny.
You know what I'm saying? They try to
get it right.
Down. You know, and they trying to be, and see, here's what we don't recognize. And there's no shots, but it's sad that we can't even decipher what's upright. We're so messed up that we're trying to do the right thing, still doing the wrong thing. That's still negative. Why are you using that language with these babies around? Why are you using, you know what I'm saying, talking all this, and then you mixing in crazy stuff with the children right there? And the only thing I'm saying is, because you got people saying righteous ratchet now, or I'm righteous ratchet. And you could tell people think they're good. Oh, because, oh man, you know, I gave to the youth. Oh, you know, oh, what you doing in the community, bro? See, now you're not going to play that game with me. We're talking about the hypocrisy. You're not going to shake me. I'm like a bulldog. I'm locked in on you. You understand? That don't work with me. You understand? We have to move away from being counterproductive and being hypocritical. You understand me? You got power. You understand? We you know, if they really believe in themselves so much, why are they starting their own radio stations? If they really about that life, start your own record label without it being corrupt. Death Row Records. Okay, he bought Death from Death. So the Death Angel, you understand, sold Death to the next person. Death Row Records.
Pass it on.
Passing it on. Oh, yeah, we're gonna celebrate the wins. And we don't recognize that's not a win. You still pushing gangster rap that's corrupting the minds of our youth. That's not a win.
You saw what Brother Aaron said?
Well, you know, hip hop is not the destruction, man. It's gangster rap.
The gangsters.
It's not 50 years of destruction, because remember, I feel what you're saying, bro, but I got to keep it real, because you know, being a person that knows.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Being a person that just wouldn't be accurate. You know what I'm saying? Because all the 50 years of it haven't been corrupt. You know what I'm saying? What happened was when gangster rap came on the scene, when you had NWA, which stands for what? Niggas with attitude. See, we don't understand how powerful a label is. Did they not live up to that? Did they not live up to that title? Have you guys oh, they just talking about what they seen, and you see, people love to defend the wrong that they do because it's making them money.
But them the leaders of our community, the new civil rights activists.
I used to be a hustler, man. You understand? I used to be, I'm not proud of that. But at least I'm honest about it. Don't make it right. You understand? But I did it out of the love of money. I didn't have to do that. I just did it because I was impatient. I wanted fast money. You understand? And I was willing to do by all means necessary, obviously, to get the money. But they don't want to admit that, though. See, a lot of people don't know, man. I was a local in Jacksonville, North Carolina, with a record company called For Your Entertainment. For Your Entertainment. Matter of fact, it was founded by a brother from Rochester, New York, too. I just come up, we end up being friends, and we end up coming to find out we from the same city. You understand? And unfortunately, I was recruiting drug dealing rappers. Family, listen to me clearly. This is the reason why I am so against it. Because I had a young man who I was getting ready to sign on the record label. He was a blood down there in, I think it was like Fayetteville, North Carolina. It was like Fayetteville, North Carolina, or Wilson. I can't remember because I had artists you know what I'm saying, in quite a few places down there, you know, and it was some years ago. But anyway, he ended up getting killed. Yeah. And some of you don't know, I was in the studio when they started pulling out guns. Some of you don't know, I was carrying a gun on me too.
I carries one too.
You understand? and you know, we was, you know, hanging around, you know what I'm saying, the red flaggers, you know what I'm saying, the Bloods and whatever, you know, and everything like that. You understand? So it was a lot of things popping off. And I'm not no false flagger. I was not no Blood. I was just hanging around, and I was just cool with them. You understand? You know what I'm saying? And when you doing record, when you doing business, you know, just like Suge was a Blood, but Snoop was a Crip. But when it came to that money, they laid all that aside and let's get this money. And that's what it was with me. I was just trying to get to that money. And unfortunately, when I started seeing that lives almost got lost, that lives was being taken, man, I was convicted. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I was that guy. But guess what? Do you think I'm not going to talk about it because I used to do it? That don't make sense. It still was wrong. I recognize it was wrong. I lost friends to that life. I seen my friend brother get shot in a drive-by right in front of me. I almost got shot up. You understand? So I'm just saying, man, there's nothing good. Nobody can show me any good that comes out of that life.
They were dropping dead in my yard.
That's right. And all I'm saying is that we have to have the moral courage to speak out against it and say, family, we need to come back home. And I'm talking about mentally, we need to come back home because we some lost people. We some lost people. Get mad at India Arie because she's standing up for morality. She being attacked. These are mamas up there on the stage. Their panties showing. They're naked. They don't have no panties under their dress. Doing that. But y'all okay with that? Y'all think that's cool? See, this is what I'm saying. Oh, you judging? Oh man, you ain't gonna try. You're not gonna deflect. You're not gonna deflect. You're not gonna deflect where everybody got something to work on and all that. Listen, if you need to be set free, if you need to take your morals to another level, then that's just what it is.
Well, I'm sure people
being a good example of a mother. It's not being a good example of a father. If you a gangster rapper, you won't want your son doing what you rapping about, and you won't want your daughter being called no female dog or no hoe, but you do it. I ain't got no love for these hoes.
And you do it in front of the children.
What you gonna say if a man walk up that's like you? Oh, no, you're not. So if that's not good enough for your daughter, then it shouldn't be good enough for nobody else's daughter. Simple as that. And we're out of our mind, and I'm telling you, until we come to our senses, we're going to keep losing. Until we come to our senses, we're going to keep being puppets, and we're going to keep self-destructing, and our children are going to keep going to these schools and learning these curriculums and these lies about slavery benefited us. Come on, man.
We need courage.
That's it right there. I'm going to end it on that note.
Wait a minute. I did want to touch on another current event right quick. And Sister Eileen, I hear you. I just want to touch on another current event, something that I did not know. I did a little research about the Hawaii Maui fires, and I send my love to those natives in Hawaii that lost practically everything. And let me just say this right quick. The fire ain't even put out yet, and they out there trying to buy the people land. Recently, Oprah I think she did hundreds of acres. Mark Zuckerberg did hundreds of acres inside of Hawaii. So I wanted to look at it a little closer and come to find out that Hawaii was colonized. They talked about the doctrine of discovery and how I'm just going to be truthful, how the Christians came over to help colonize them. and they had to change the way they were talking. Same thing that happened to us. So they had to change a lot of the things that they had, and they were there to take over their native land. In order, they had houses, just raggedy houses over there. The median price is $1 million. So I'm not into conspiracy theories to say that somebody purposely burnt the land down or whatever. But I want you all to know that they were also colonized, along with the Africans and us, and et cetera, et cetera. And they used the same exact tactics. So those who say that think colonization was a thing of the past, that happened not too long ago when they came to the 50th state or what have you in the United States of America. So those that say that colonization is a thing of the past and it only happened to Africa, that is not true. It happened more than you know with these same people, the same tactics, and they used the doctrine of discovery, and they sent the same Christians out there to kill folk. Trust me, and I'm not going to bite my tongue on that. Christians, I sent them out there to kill people. And when you see the murdering and the mistreatment and some of these people who claim that they're Christians and they're doing certain things, it's in there. Apparently, it's in their bylaws because they've done it everywhere they go. So that's about it. Now, a lot of us don't know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the the ones that attend church and the this, that, and the, we might not notice. But if you get into the other echelons, a lot of the Southern Baptists, a lot of them, they have hateful hearts, and they don't look at us or melanated people as people that are human in a sense. And again, like I said before in one of my other presentations, what type of religion, what type of God, what type of doctrine are you following that can allow you to maim, mutilate, boil people alive? You see what I'm saying? Take their land, leave them to live in tents. You see? So check on your people in Hawaii. Just go and search and watch one of them documentaries when they talk about the doctrine of discovery and how the United States went over there and colonized them. So that's all I wanted to say.
Again, family, thank you so much for tuning in on this evening. If the truth hurts, say ouch, because we're going to tell it the way it is. We tell you in love. If we see you going in the wrong direction and we don't tell you that you're going in the wrong direction, it's just like a one-way street sign, right? It's covered by something. You can't see it and you going the wrong way. Wouldn't you like to know that you're going the wrong way? Or would you rather for us to be a wimp and be afraid and not say nothing to you and let you keep going the wrong way, and then you end up getting into a car crash, hurting yourself and somebody else? I'm going to leave it at that. It's the same thing spiritually, what we're doing right now. Our people are going in the wrong way, and it's time for us to redirect us back the way we need to go. Sankofa, we need to go back to our way before we were colonized. Peace and love. Thank you again. Y'all have a blessed rest of your evening, and may your week be the same. We'll see you the following week, because we're actually going out of town this week. All right? Peace, family. Love y'all.
Find the button.